Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and we are presented by the Hula Bowl. Today I have with me Liam Welch. He is a quarterback out of Samford. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Jimmy?
Doing well. Nice to have you on. Just want to get a chance to meet you a little bit. Tell me a little bit about where you're from, and just kind of get us there to you at Samford, if you don't mind.
So I'm from Augusta, Georgia, about 2 hours east of Atlanta. I went to high school at Aquinas. My dad is one of 10, and him and all of his brothers and sisters also went to Aquinas. So it's a big filter of Welches coming through there. I've got two younger brothers, George and Joseph, who also played there. Football at Aquinas is a really big pastime for everybody. I believe I went 38-3 as a starter there with one state championship. I was offered by Samford the summer before my senior year. I went to a camp here and got to meet Coach Hatcher, Coach Calloway, who's now at the Giants, Coach Boss, and a few others. I felt like I really connected with those coaches, and I just kind of felt at home there. So a few months later, I committed, and the rest has been great.
Gotcha. I mean, obviously there at Samford, I mean, you guys have really an exciting offense. I mean, were you there when Hodges was there? I mean, I'm trying to remember, like, were you there?
What? Oh yeah, I got to sit back and watch him play for 3 years, and that dude was electric. I mean, I learned a lot from him.
It's just wild. I mean, I was watching him, and then obviously he got his chance in the pros. I mean, to be honest with you, like, I can't remember where he's at right now, but I mean, I know he's had some great games.
He's at Ottawa in the CFL.
Okay. I think he like just recently signed there or something.
Oh yeah, I think he may play today.
Hey, that'd be fun. I got to give this guy some love in this video. So
that's right.
Tell me about you. I mean, I don't want to necessarily compare you to him so much, but I mean, tell me about you as a quarterback. I mean, how would we define you and your skill set?
So, I like to say that I try and get the ball out to the guys who can actually make the plays. When you break down the game, I think it can be pretty easy to a point because, and I don't say that in a cocky way at all, but our routine at practice and the way we practice is the same every single week. Every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, they're all the same. So I've made every single throw in the game hundreds, thousands of times throughout my time at Samford. So when it comes to the games, it's easy. Like I've done it, I've repped it tons of times. So that it creates confidence for me and for the guys up front, the guys out wide running their routes and winning. It's tended to be kind of easy in the last few games.
Yeah, and I was just going to ask you, have you always played quarterback? I mean, who'd you grow up like idolizing? Is there a quarterback in the league that you I don't know, admired or tried to model yourself after?
Aaron Rodgers is a guy that comes to mind. Aaron and Peyton. Peyton just with all of his success, he's a funny guy off the field too. I love watching his Monday night football commentary with Eli. But Aaron too, just because of the way he plays, the way he just flicks the ball around, he can make every single throw with ease. I love watching just highlights of that guy. I mean, he's insane.
Yeah, and obviously, those guys, they are gunslingers. Do you identify as a gunslinger or a mobile guy or what? Like, how do I? What am I looking at when I'm watching you? I mean.
Gunslinger for one, and then if I see grass, I'm gonna take as much as I can. I'll lower my shoulder and get as many as I can.
So, tell me a little bit about this. So, like, we talked about this earlier before we got on here. What's your current height and weight?
So I'm at 6'2", 208 right now.
Okay, so 6'2", 208. So somebody there needs to fix that, at your school, because it has you listed a whole lot lighter than that. So definitely
Had to
had
be my freshman year.
yeah, definitely gained some weight since that freshman year. Talk to me about like how you have developed since coming in as a freshman. I mean, whether or not that means that you're actually putting on some muscle mass in the weight room, or like just kind of you as a quarterback. Tell me how you've developed.
So I've always loved getting in the weight room off season, grinding, getting bigger. I think my highest weight is probably 212 at one point. And I know during the season you kind of lose a bit and then need to maintain. But I always thought it was interesting. I think Joe Burrow said it during his championship run that he hadn't benched in a year or 2 years. And I thought about that. I was like, well, I mean, that's not necessarily me, but I do take it easy on the arm during the season. But I like to, my favorite lift's got to be squat, front squat. Big leg guy.
All right, well,
But
it works. What's that number these days? I mean, are you comfortable sharing that?
the squat number,
Yeah.
I think I've hit 455.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's
Not
fair. I
not
mean, you're
nothing
not a
too
you're,
high, but yeah,
you're not a lineman, so I mean, it's not like I'm expecting 600 or whatever. But I mean, it's
yeah.
it's, it's all good. Um, so Liam, I mean, obviously, for people that don't know you, you had a pretty good season over this spring. You were named, I want to say, what was it? Your finalist for the Walter Payton Award, which is kind of the FCS equivalent to the Heisman. Very prolific passer there. Also named second team All American, which is kind of nice as well. But obviously before this spring season, and obviously because of you had this spring season because of the pandemic. So talk about this pandemic for you. Like, has that affected you in any way? Like, I just stay motivated during 2020 when there's no game.
So when we found out that we were getting our fall season canceled, it was really tough for the entire team and for me, just to know that all of your work preseason leading up to your fall would have been my senior season, would be put on hold. And mentally, it was rough. Just the fact that all of the unknown going on in the country. Nobody really had an answer for anything. So in that way, it was easy to connect with people because we were all going through the same thing. For me, it was just putting your head down and grinding, waiting for your chance to finally come, and then when we got the chance to play in the spring, I had done a lot of work back home in Augusta. We connected as a team over GroupMe throughout that whole off season, got our workouts and sent videos in of us doing crazy lunges all around our neighborhood and any way we can to get workouts in. But yeah, when our time finally came in the spring, we were just super excited to be out on the field and getting our shot.
Great. So I mean, obviously, again, I mean, like you said, a little bit of a gunslinger yourself. I mean, you've had a couple games actually where you've gone over the 500 mark, which I think is wild. Talk to me about maybe like your most memorable moment, maybe like the biggest highlight of your career so far.
Biggest highlight of my career. It's tough. It's tough to, because my two biggest games, VMI and this past game, ETSU, where I was both over 500 yards, ended up in a loss. And it's hard to celebrate those because you're always like, man, you could have made one more play, to give your team that victory. But I would say biggest highlight would be overtime win versus Citadel, 2019, I believe. Yes, sir. Yeah. We went to 4 separate games that were 4 overtimes that year. And Citadel, we were at home, 4th overtime, ran it in to give us the win. That was probably one of my most memorable games.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough conference, man, especially when you're going like overtime, overtime, overtime. I mean, and despite obviously having those 2 fantastic games where you're like chucking the ball like 50 times or more a game. I mean, uh, obviously it's tough. Like if you're putting up those numbers and still like somewhat losing. I mean, granted, it's an overtime loss. I mean, those games could have gone either way.
100%.
But some very tough competition there. I mean, who do you feels like been your toughest competitor so far?
Toughest competitor so far. And I'd have to give it to Chattanooga just because we have not beaten them since I've been here at Samford, which is, a tough one. So, definitely have that marked on the schedule. But we've had some battles with Mercer coming up, who we've got this weekend. Had some battles with Furman. But yeah, like you said, this is a tough conference, and we've got to bring it every single week. And that if that means I've got to throw the ball 73 times a game, I'm in. If it means I got to throw 100, if it means I got to throw it 20 times, run it 40 times, I'm ready for it.
Gotcha. Liam, I remember last year I actually sat down and talked to Montreal, Washington, I believe. That's your teammate there. Very speedy wide receiver and return specialist. Well, he does a little bit more than wide receiver. Give me something about that guy, because I mean he is electric on the field.
Yeah, you talking about fat, PHATT. That's that's what we like to call him. That dude is I mean, he freaking brings it every single practice. There's no flaws in his game. I mean, we know when there's a punt, when their offense is punting it away to him, everybody kind of giving each other looks on the sidelines like this might be the one. Like he's bound to take one back every single time he touches it. And that's what we've really tried to focus on offense, is just getting him the ball more, getting him his touches every single game. Because he's going to make something happen.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a guy. I mean, I've seen him like line up in the backfield. I mean, he has done everything for you guys. So, I mean, definitely a huge playmaker out there for you guys. What if we were, I don't know, if you had the opportunity maybe to give your younger self some advice to prepare yourself for like, I don't know, like the next 5 years of your journey here in college, what would you tell your high school self in order to prepare him for this journey?
I would tell him to, that you've got a talent that's been given to you by God, and to use it, to, utilize that, and don't take it for granted at all. I think that's something I did earlier in my freshman, sophomore year, sitting behind Devlin, just to bring him up again real quick. I just kind of was acting like the freshman around, not practicing, as hard as I probably should have. And so that's what I would tell myself, is that, you're here for a reason, and just to use your God-given abilities to, make an impact on somebody.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you have. I mean, you have gone out there and put together some great games. I mean, do you see yourself as a leader of that offense? I mean, I know a lot of times, like, with the quarterback, like, you're kind of dubbed the leader of that offense. Like, do you feel like that's you? I mean, talk to me about you as like the leader of that program. That is, if you see yourself as such.
No, 100%. I like to, every time I sit down and have a conversation with anybody, or just in passing, I like to give them the time of day. Like I'm 100% where my feet are at, and listening, really listening into what they have to say. That's how I've kind of tried to help our team, is just bring everyone together and feel like they're involved. I am on the leadership council at Samford with a few other guys. So we're kind of the mediaries between the coaches and the rest of the players for our offensive side. Our defensive leadership group also meets during the same time. But yeah, I really just try to, as the older guy on the team, being my 6th year, I try to share my wisdom, share my experience over the years with some of the younger guys, and kind of bring them up to speed.
Great. Liam, let's just take some time. I want to get to know you outside of football a little bit. So, I mean, I see this thing there in the background of the Masters. Are you a big golf guy?
Big golf guy. Oh yeah. So my mom used to work at the Augusta National a few years back, and I grew up going to the tournament every year. Got to play it one time, which was huge.
Nice.
So that's love to get out there on the course. They got a few municipals here in Birmingham. I love to play.
Gotcha. Anything else you want to share about yourself? Any other hobbies or interests or special abilities or anything?
Getting into hiking recently. I've got this trails app on my phone that I'm trying to knock out a bunch of places here in Alabama. But no, I just, I'm a normal guy, not much to me.
All right, I'm gonna hit you with this next question. You got a favorite movie? Like, you have any favorite movies that you like?
Oh yeah, probably my number one is Shutter Island with Leonardo. Leonardo's one of my favorite actors.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I can watch that movie hundreds of times. Another one. I mean, Wolf of Wall Street's. I mean, it's up there.
Yeah, no, I get you. So, I mean, obviously Leonardo DiCaprio. That's one of your favorites. So I get it.
Pulp Fiction.
Nice. Going a little old school there too. So, as we begin to wrap up, I mean, I want to get your why, your motivation. So why don't you go ahead and hit me with that? Like, why do you do what you do? Maybe why you started to play this game, and what keeps you going today?
Yeah. So I feel like I kind of touched on it already, but I've been given a God-given ability, and I don't want to waste it. I've realized that I can impact a lot of people through, whether that's through my play or help teaching, motivating others, and that's where I really find a lot of my joy is helping others. It brings me happiness to put a smile on someone's face, whether that's with football or going back home, helping out younger athletes. Yeah, that's really where I found my joy.
Sure. And very last thing that I'll give you is just time to give your pitch to all these teams, in the NFL, any other professional, programs. Like, why should they really, take a chance on you, pay attention to you guys this season? Like, give them your, 30-second pitch as to why they need to bring you into their franchise.
So going forward, if I'm able to, make it to a team, my biggest fear is being useful. And I never want to feel like I'm wasting space or wasting time with anybody. I always want to help benefit somebody any way I can, whether that's on the field or off the field, relationships, whatever it is. So I'm going to give you all that I have. And whether that's through my play, through relationships, through, helping others, I'm going to give you everything I have in order to benefit the team, organization.
Great. We're about halfway through the season already. Doesn't that sound kind of crazy to think about that? I mean, we're what, 5 games in, something like that? It's moving fast. What else do we have in store this season for Samford and their program?
We're sitting at 2-2 right now, but we still feel like all of our goals are ahead of us. SoCon Championship, National Championship. Coach Hatcher likes to say, I'd rather be clothesline by a high bar than trip over a low bar. So, our goals are high. And we still feel like we can reach all of those. So it's a daily mentality, to be relentless. And, going out today, we've got a walkthrough today. And then we got our Fast Friday tomorrow, and then we'll be in Mercer, or we'll be in Macon playing Mercer this Saturday. So it's taking it one day at a time, winning every single day. And my mentality is you win your games throughout the week. And I feel like we've put together a really good week so far, in order for us to expect to win on Saturday.
Great.
And the rest of the season.
Liam, this has been great. I do appreciate your time. I mean, best of luck to you this weekend and also the rest of the season. So, again, I have Liam Welch. He's quarterback from Samford, gunslinger. Definitely got to check him out. So, thanks again, bud.
Thank you, Jimmy.